What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So today we're going to talk about the US economy and what we are expecting moving forward. And I want to address this because of one main thing: layoffs. We're actually starting to see more people are discussing layoffs. More businesses are open to the possibility of laying off 10, 20, 30, 40, or even 50% of their entire working staff. This is a problem. And the reason why this is a problem is simple. As people start to experience layoffs and they are not getting their money that they were getting before, then they cannot pay their bills. They cannot go to restaurants to pay the bills for the workers, the wait staff, the cooks, management. Then that starts to escalate. And if the person that was laid off at the XYZ company cannot go to the grocery store, cannot buy food from, let's say, Albertsons or Trader Joe's or wherever, then the workers there at Albertsons and Trader Joe's or whatever grocery store they're at, they're likely to experience a layoff as well. And so it's just a big domino effect. Here's the problem. We are now starting to get more and more reports from people that are working inside some of these companies, and they are stressed out. Some want to quit. I talked to somebody just the other day, and he wants to quit his job. He's been at this job for 15 years, absolutely loves it. But his roles and responsibilities at this current place of employment, it's just so much now. Because not only is he taking on the roles and responsibility for his one job, but there's 3 people around him that got laid off in the past couple of weeks. And now he's responsible for all 3 of their jobs. Yeah. So he technically has 4 jobs and he's only getting paid for 1. Now, if you think this is something that isn't going to happen, it's not happening in your area, well, just look at this. This is just a little timeline. This is from Forbes. Look at this. This is on June 14th. It says Oracle's layoffs were reportedly centered in its Oracle Health division, including an IT provider, Cerner, which it acquired for $28 billion last year. Oracle had also cut more than 200 employees in October and started laying off an undisclosed number of its estimated 143,000 employees last summer. Phoenix-based Nikola Corporation said it has cut 120 employees based in Arizona and another 150 across multiple sites supporting the company's programs in Europe. Sonos, the maker of wireless multi-room sound systems, announced its layoffs in a Securities and Exchange Commission filing, saying the cuts will affect 130 employees, roughly 7% of its workforce. June 13th, nearly 230 employees laid off at Tyson Foods. Grubhub, they're going to affect roughly 400 of the company's 2,800 employees. June 5th, Spotify, they say they're going to will cut 200 employees, 2% of its workforce. Haven Technologies, the Mass Mutual-owned insurance software company, will cut roughly 280 employees in a massive round of cuts affecting roughly 70% of the company's workforce. Then we have ZipRecruiter. This is June 1st. Announced in a Securities and Exchange Commission filing, the company will cut its workforce by 270 employees, roughly 20% of its staff. Now, this is happening all over. Now, I'm not here to tell you, Walmart is going to lay off 100,000 employees. No. We are seeing Walmart lay off employees, but it's not a mass layoff. We're not seeing 10, 20, 30%. What we're seeing is, okay, this section of Walmart does not need 10 employees, so we're going to lay off 2. It's going to be very quiet. We just don't need them. They can go somewhere else, right? No big deal. It will be a big deal. Just think how many Walmarts are out there. Just think if Walmart lays off 2 employees, Costco lays off 2 employees, Target lays off 2 employees, Albertsons, Safeway, Fred Meyer, a gas station, right? JCPenney, right? All these stores, as they start to lay off employees, guess what? It adds up. It seriously adds up. Now, I want to read you a few emails that I received over the past couple of weeks. Okay? And this is why this is so terrifying. Some people did not ever think they were going to be laid off. Other people did not think they were going to experience layoffs in their company because guess what? The bosses said everything was just fine. Just listen to this. This person says, "This is not the first round of layoffs that I have experienced, but it sure is different than the great financial crisis. Back then, bosses called everybody into their office and laid off close to 40% of the workers and kept the rest. Today, they handed out letters to those that were done working effective immediately. And the hardest part about all this is that in the previous 3 months, everything looked as if it was going good." That's what this person's saying. That there were no signs that layoffs were coming. Now, they don't specify how many people got laid off this time, but I could only imagine if they're walking around handing out letters to a bunch of different employees. If it was just one or two, chances are the bosses would call that person into the office, let them know the situation, and it would be effective immediately. But if you're handing out letters, normally that means that the bosses do not have the time to go around to the dozens or hundreds of employees and let them know, hey, we're sorry, but effective immediately, you will be done working. Because if the layoffs all have to happen on one day, the easiest way is to give everybody a letter, make them open it up, they will be done that day. That's usually what happens. Listen to this one. This person says, "I've worked for Home Depot for over 20 years, 13 at my current location. They have always been a very good company to work for, but obviously things have changed recently. My current location was having difficulty just like everybody else, but I never thought they would lay off as much staff as they did. We lost close to 18 employees in the past week, more in weeks before. Luckily, I was not one of those people, and I know that I should feel fortunate about my job, but myself and others are just waiting to see our responsibilities increase." This is what happens. And this was not the person that I talked to. That they have one job, their responsibility is for one job. But then 3 other people got laid off, and so now that person is responsible for 4 different jobs. But yet they're only getting paid for one of them. And listen to this one. Listen to what this person says. This person works out of Big Lots. This person writes and says, "We have 6 employees in the entire store." That's in all caps. "I work for Big Lots, and here we only have 6 employees. 3 work during the week, 2 work part-time in the evening, and 1 works during the weekend. At the most, we only have 2 employees during each shift, and it is not enough. Customers continue to complain that aisles are bare. We don't have the personnel to sell furniture. We only have 1 register open at a time, and it is embarrassing. Last year when I was hired on, we had 5 employees at a time, and even then, that was not enough. Things are only looking worse." I see this all the time. I went into it was a clothing store. The clothing store had a bunch of different employees, had 1 register, it's a pretty big store, had 1 register that was open. Every other register, again, they probably had 7 registers throughout the store. 1 was open in the front of the store. You know what was in the back of the store? It had a big sign on the door that said, "This door closed. Please use other entrance." So everybody was being funneled into 1 door. This store actually had 3 doors. But everybody could only come in and out of 1 door. That's where the register was. That was the only one that was open. It was a joke. Okay? I didn't even buy anything because the line just to buy something, there was like 8 or 9 people in the line. It's like, that's not worth it. I'll just go buy something online. Get it delivered to me. No big deal. Right? This is why people are shopping at things like Amazon. Why go to a store, buy a product, when you're going to have to wait in line? You're going to have to go and find the item you need, right? But at the same time, if you do not have a person there, a representative, a sales associate, whoever, somebody to assist you, and you do not know exactly what you're buying, why waste the time going into a store? Or if you go into a store and the aisles are bare because they don't have the staff to put the products onto the shelves. Why would you do that? But this is what is terrifying. Right now, what we are seeing is everything's fine. The Fed, they paused rates. President Biden says the economy is still strong, right? No big deal. The stock market is going up. Real estate hasn't crashed yet, right? People still have some money. Everybody's saying, oh, things are good. We're not going to dip into a recession. We are going to experience good times, not bad. But this is why this is so terrifying, is because when you are thinking that the economy is doing really well, that usually changes your mindset. And now you think, okay, my job should be pretty safe. I'm going to go and spend money on a car, go buy a new house, go and book a vacation for $4,000 to $5,000. I'm going to go do this because things are looking up. Here's the problem. As everything's looking up, there are still many issues, many underlying issues within the economy. And this isn't the video that I'm going to go over all the different issues, but there's a lot of problems. And if you just, surpass those problems, you just don't worry about them, right? Just look way beyond that. You're probably thinking, okay, things are fine. I am perfectly fine. When in reality, that's probably not the situation. So, just wanted to fill you in on what's going on and just share what some of these people are saying, because again, this is going to give us a pretty good idea of what's happening. Right now we're seeing, minimal layoffs. But we're seeing minimal layoffs because things are still changing. As we really start to see, how the economy is impacted because of rate increases or the potential rate pause that we just experienced, things are going to change. But are they going to be better or are they going to be worse? That's what we don't really know yet. But my warning to you is to be careful, because as everybody's very optimistic that things are going to be better, I'm still a little hesitant because I still see the writing on the wall that things could potentially be worse. So that's what we know at this time. As always, as I know more, I promise I'll come back on and share all the latest news and updates. Again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.